With Riot making every champion so unbelievably broken, it's so unbelievably important that you pick the best champions to make sure to have the best chances of winning most of your games, even though matchmaking is trying the hardest to make you lose. So for today, I'm going to present you 10 of the most broken champions in WildRift, and I'm going to give you 2 per role. And to make it even better, I'm going to make another video where I'll present builds for every single of these champions. So let's start with the AD carries. Here we start with Ezreal, one of the most broken champions in the game right now. If you're very good playing this champion, the overbuffed Kraken Slayer and just overall Ezreal as a champion will allow you to carry many of your games. You will deal so much damage, you're not even used to dealing so much damage. For a few tricks, use your first ability as an auto-attack reset, use your second ability to make sure your third ability always hits an enemy champion even in a minion wave, and never forget that if you're about to get stunned, use your ultimate because the ultimate will still be cast as you're getting stunned, so you use your time CC'd wonderfully well. The next AD carry, which is just over the top broken, is Tristana. So you just lock in this champion and you enjoy your game, and if the game goes long, which in current WildRift matchmaking happens most of the times, this champion will carry your games and you don't even have to put in effort because your auto attack range will be so superior compared to any other AD carry. And not only this, some of the AD carries have very bad laning phase or a very weak level 5. However, with Tristana, it's an absolute different story. Thanks to your third ability and your ultimate ability, you instantly blow people up if they don't have exhaust or if it's on cooldown. Not only this, you can permanently relocate with your second ability with the power of the Warrior Quick Blades, or just getting an assist during a team fight. And because your champion features such high burst damage, you can literally burst a frontliner and just jump away again. And not to forget to mention, if your bump is fully stacked on an enemy champion, you get a jump reset as well. Oh, and you can basically escape any crowd control in the game with your second ability if you learn to properly buffer it. Now, let's talk about the jungle role. Kha'Zix is absolutely overtuned and has been gotten buffed because on the Chinese server the win rate of Kha'Zix isn't high enough. But if we ask ourselves, is this a legitimate thing? Is Kha'Zix really too weak? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. However, this champion has potential which is so easy to utilize thanks to him being a brutal assassin with super high engage ranges with his jump evolve. Especially the jump evolve in itself, thanks to you killing people so fast if they're isolated, which happens all the time, lets you get out of jail instantly every single time. And not only this, your champion deals so much damage in a 1v1 scenario that the enemy literally has to itemize specifically against you in order to survive even a brief 1v1. The next champion, which is still an apex predator when it comes to the jungling, is Lee Sin. This champion's win rate, similar to Lee Sin, has been rather low on the Chinese server, which is very much concerning because this champion is absolutely broken. If you learn how to properly play this champion, as in using your second ability as an auto attack reset, learning how to flash kick, learning how to properly fight, and just using every single one of your combos, you quickly realize that this champion truly isn't balanced. And with all the items and runes in the game right now, he doesn't even scale too bad, because in most instances, if there is a tank on the enemy team, you just kick the enemy tank into the team and they take billions upon billions of damage, thanks to your kick's bonus health scaling on the enemy target you've kicked. Oh yeah, and this early game is absolutely insane. You can fully clear your jungle in 1 minute and 38 seconds on an early game powerhouse. How is this even fair? One of the newly added champions to WildRift is Zyra, and this champion is so easy to play yet so powerful. All you have to do is build the right items, and lucky for you, in a few days or maybe even tomorrow, you'll get the fully updated 10 OP builds for all of these champions presented to you, plus all the explanations how they work, what they should do, and why the runes and items are chosen as they are. But now, let's talk a bit more in detail about Zyra. This champion basically just has to spam abilities into a teamfight to have big value. You can also just drop your ultimate to properly CC an entire enemy team or dissuade them from actually going into a fight. And if you just have Liandry's Torment, you will see that your plants will deal so much damage. And, well, unfortunately, the Kraken Slayer and on-it interaction was removed from the game, so one of your plants doesn't 1v1 an enemy carry in late game anymore. Jokes aside, I'm really happy that this one is gone, even though it took them a lot of time, way longer than it took them to fix Fresh, but well, it's just Christmas time when we can't expect them all to work because they're just humans. And every human, even if it's a developer and even if it's the right games, deserves their vacation time. However, fix matchmaking. A very broken champion accompanying Zyra, yet being so much harder to play is Pyke. Playing this champion in pure solo queue and playing this champion in the duo lane is so unbelievably unbalanced, you have no idea. Just making sure to be close enough to enemy champions to get your grey health, running second wind to fully sustain up that grey health in the river, even using Pathfinder to be faster to run around the map makes this champion so obnoxiously powerful. You can be anywhere at any point, and your damage is so high that if the enemy makes a single mistake, you just instantly kill them. And if you're playing on a tablet, or your fingers aren't as big as some other people's, you can use multiple fingers on a phone, more than 2, and then you can even use the most grotesque combos on Pyke. Like the third ability into ult behind the enemy target with a proto belt in the 360 no-scope straight back into the fountain for them. But there's one thing about Pyke that you need to understand and need to know. This champion has a lot of responsibility. You making mistakes equals usually you die, and that is something that many support players very much dislike, because if they make a mistake, they die doesn't really sound that much appealing to people, right? So make sure you put in the proper practice, and once you've done so, you'll quickly realize that this champion in solo queue, like strictly solo queue, not duo, not trio, and not penta queue, is one of the most busted champions you can have to finally have proper impact as a support player. With Inting Sion literally plaguing the Rift, I want to present you 2 champions that literally eat Inting Sion alive. And number 1 is Jax. You are the nightmare of enemy AD carries, the nightmare of enemy champions in general. You simply don't die, are relatively mobile and have so much damage, and once the enemy leaves for a single second from your lane to go anywhere, or just basically addicted to the dragons and go to the dragons, then you'll take down towers in seconds. And that is something that makes Jax always so strong during the entirety of the game. The enemy leaves once, you take down towers. You get so much gold, strategic shutdown gold, kill gold, because the moment you have 1 or 2 items, you quickly take over the game. So pick up your Demolish, make sure to auto-attack reset with your second ability, and learn to properly use the counter-strike to skew every single matchup into your favor. But if there's a champion that literally demolishes you if she's better than you, then it's Fiora. And even if you're winning, the moment we're late game, she can literally instantly kill you thanks to the power of a passive. And not only this, she's literally the most gruesome enemy for Inting Sion. Fiora's damage is simply too high, and any HP the Sion stacks up will be completely meaningless in the eyes of a Fiora. And if all of this wasn't bad enough already, she instantly kills towers with her first ability and her third ability being constant auto-attack resets and so much damage to towers. And the only thing that really gatekeeps her is her mana pool. So that's something you have to do, which I'll tell you in the next video. But if you have any idea what I'm talking about, then make sure to comment down there and maybe I'll give you a little hint earlier. Now, with all roles tackled, we really need to talk about the mid lane. And here we have 2 champions that are literally a menace to this player base. First, we have Jason. Jace has so much damage and got buffed again recently, simply for the fact that people weren't performing as well on this champion. But if you put in the time and properly learn Jace and all of his mechanics, you'll quickly realize that this champion truly wasn't balanced and didn't really need this buff. But for starters, let's go with all the things Jace can do. He has an auto-attack reset on his second ability, and if you level this up, it does even more damage than a normal auto-attack. You can one-tap a wave with your first ability, third ability combo, and you can reduce the enemy's resistances with your first empowered attack in ranged form. And if you're already in melee form when you swap to the hammer form, you can cancel your auto-attack into your first ability, completely hiding the animation of your auto-attack, making everything appear instantly and deal instant damage. And if all of this wasn't enough, you can run First Strike to literally print money more than the US government ever did, and they're in big debt right now. And if you're interested in another money printer, then I have Twisted Fate for you. Running First Strike and having his third ability to print even more money is so powerful on this champion that he accelerates ahead so fast you have no idea. But if there's something that is quite a big problem for Twisted Fate, it's the early game. He has been nerfed quite a few times, so his early stats are really not that high. He really needs that 1 to 2 item spike to slowly come online, and then the more items he gets, the more powerful he becomes. The yellow card insta one tap is just too powerful as we reach mid or late game, and his rotational potential with his ultimate really make him a powerful pick if you learn to play lane properly. So rather than starting with your third ability forcing trades onto the enemy when you can actually lose, you can start with your second ability and continuously throw red cards into the minion wave, making sure the wave pushes, and you deal bonus damage to enemy champions as they're staying close to get last hits themselves. And if there's one thing about Twisted Fate you need to know, it's properly understanding when you're at level 5 and what to do with it. Don't just randomly ult anywhere for fun. Make sure you get something out of value out of this play, because if you don't, your champion will be in quite the pickle. You really don't want to ult around getting nothing when your champion literally has the map presence of a god. You can be anywhere at any point the moment you hit level 5. And not only this, you have a Thanos snap on your yellow card, making sure the enemy can't even run from you. And that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, smash the comment section with any ideas, any thoughts you have, and just let me know how the season is going to end for you. And see you on the next stream, and most importantly, have fun on the Rift, don't let matchmaking get to your head like it usually gets to my head, and well, have a nice day.